violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
The video clip released by police is short but incredibly shocking. A man lifting his leg and kicking an
Woo! I'm telling you, these dudes is trying their best WWE moves on old people. This is the state of New York. You know what I mean? Oh, man, it's crazy.
89-year-old woman in the back, knocking her to the ground. He's then seen walking right by her, a cup of coffee in his hand, as the elderly woman struggles on the sidewalk.
I'm really surprised. It's really wild. Wow.
People who live near Avenue P and East 17th Street in Brooklyn reacting to the video caught on nearby surveillance cameras. A clearer and closer shot of the suspect's face can be seen as he strolls away from the scene.
Dang. This dude is cold. And it looks like he could be a glider gremlin, burrito gremlin. I can't really tell until we actually get a mugshot, but this man just kicks a woman, 89-year-old woman, down on the ground for no reason.
Police hoping someone will recognize him.
That's crazy. I live in this neighborhood. Yeah. That's scary. I have an elderly mother, too.
Investigators say this unprovoked attack happened just before 7:30 Friday morning as the victim was standing on the sidewalk. She was taken to a nearby hospital with bruising to her head and body.
So that's very surprising to happen at 7 o'clock in the morning because people go to work, the train is right here, and it's a very busy neighborhood. So I'm very surprised to hear that.
But what?
Surprised. It's like a lot of these people are living in a bubble. Honestly. It's like y'all don't know what's going on in your own city. If a 11-month-old kid can get shot on a busy street in New York, what is the hope for your neighborhood being safe?
Happened on this usually crowded block during morning rush hour has neighbors concerned and now questioning their own safety.
This neighborhood is really good, you know. I live like right behind this church, so it's always good. Yeah. But like seeing this, that's horrible, you know.
It's unclear how that elderly woman is doing after what happened. So far, police have made no arrests. In the Midwood section of Brooklyn, Anjali Hemphill, News 4, New York.
Yesterday afternoon, gun violence was responsible for taking the lives of 3 people in New York City. That includes a shooting in the Bronx where one person was...
Gun violence or super gremlins on Demon Time.
Shot and killed, and others were sent to the hospital. Morgan Mackay is live in the Mott Haven section with the very latest. Morgan.
Good afternoon, Chris. In just 6 hours yesterday, in the span of exactly 6 hours, separate shootings killed 3 people and wounded 2 others in New York City. Here I'm at in Mott Haven. 2 men were shot and a woman was killed in an apparent drive-by shooting. Here's a Citizen app video of where the gun...
Dang. And people back in the day was saying, oh, New York don't do drive-bys. We do walk-ups and all this type of stuff. I guess they taking a page out of Callie's book.
Gunfire erupted on East 137th Street in Mott Haven just after 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The 39-year-old woman, who police identified as Gloria Ortiz, was shot in the head. The other 2 men were both shot in the back. They are hospitalized and in stable condition. Then just a few hours later, an Uber delivery man on a scooter was fatally shot in the Kingsbridge Heights section of the Bronx. Christian Bueno was shot in the torso at about 10 p.m. The motive is unknown at this time. And then about a half hour later, another man was fatally shot outside a restaurant on Linden Boulevard in Queens.
Dang.
He was shot in the chest and pronounced dead at the hospital. And Chris, at this time, there have been no arrests in any of these shootings. Live in Mott Haven, I'm Morgan Mackay. Chris, back to you.
All right, Morgan, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
There's a woman killed by a bullet that may have been meant for someone else. A midday shootout on a Bronx sidewalk. Thank you for staying up with us. I'm David Usher.
And I'm Natalie Pasquarella. Police say that 39-year-old victim was one of 3 people hit when somebody opened fire from a car and then someone else fired back. News 4's Jackie Beckford is in the Mont Haven section where the question remains tonight, who fired that fatal shot?
Well, the shooting happened around 4 this evening, but investigators still on scene tonight trying to get to the bottom of what looked like a drive-by that ended with a 39-year-old woman dead.
Guys, anybody can get it. This is getting out of hand. Where is Mayor Eric Adams? It's crazy.
Surveillance video from...
I mean, look at this story up here. Does New York City have a vegan mayor? Y'all got bigger problems than that.
A nearby building shows the violence unfold. A group of people standing in front of a garage on East 137th scatter, running for cover as a white BMW drives by. A shooter apparently firing from inside the car.
Immediately, from the time you see, return fire.
But watch as the person in orange, one of the people initially hiding from the bullets behind a gray car, appears to shoot back, returning fire on the BMW, then begins chasing it down the street.
He had a gun in his hand right there.
Police say when the gunfire ended, a 32-year-old and 23-year-old man had both been shot in the back.
Wow. No aim from the Super Gremlins. Come on. When does it stop? Them plainclothes sounding kind of nice. See, plainclothes might have been walking on the street, you know, chilling on the block, and maybe been able to snuff that out before it even got started.
23-year-old man had both been shot in the back, but 39-year-old Gloria Ortiz lay fatally wounded with a bullet wound to the head.
I'm just coming home from work, but I heard about it, and condolences to the family.
Investigators combing the street lined with garages near Bruckner Boulevard have yet to share if the victims were the intended targets or innocent bystanders. It's also unclear who shot them, the drive-by shooter or the person apparently returning fire on the street.
People are losing it.
Tracy Owens, a single mom who works 2 jobs, says the rise in shootings in the city has her most fearful for her children's safety when she's not around.
You have to say your prayers before you leave out and go out because you don't know what you're dealing with.
And police...
Dang. And hopefully she wasn't, even though you can kind of assume that she was with the whole defund the police and all these different social movements that are going on now. I mean, it's getting crazy. It's getting crazy up here in New York.
Prayers before you leave out and go out because you don't know what you're dealing with.
And police have not released any information so far about an arrest or suspects in the case. In the Mont Haven section, Jackie Beckford, News 4, New York.
Morning, more deadly gun. New this morning, more deadly gun violence. An up-and-coming rapper and dancer was shot outside his Brooklyn home. 22-year-old Tajay Dobson was killed Tuesday in Canarsie. It happened hours after he signed a contract with $1 Million Music.
Wow. So right after he signs the contract, he's dead. And if this was hopefully it was a decent deal where he'll have some kickback going to his family. But if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these dudes sign their music over for a certain amount of time. So he might have signed some music over that he already had out. And the label is now reaping the benefits. This is tragic.
With $1 Million Music under the stage name TDott. The label says Dobson's dance and music electrified the streets and captivated a generation. No arrests have been made.
24 hours after fans gathered in Canarsie to remember murdered drill rapper TDott, another aspiring rapper, was also shot and killed in Brooklyn. His grieving father spoke exclusively to Fox 5.
Our first reaction was, he's a strong boy, he gonna make through. You know, he gonna be all right. But then I was at 2 o'clock. Then 2:39, I received another call which was from a doctor to tell me my son was dead.
A heartbroken Perry Williams spoke with me from his car after identifying his son's body. 18-year-old Jaquan McKinley, whose rap name was Chi Watts, was pursuing a drill music career on social media.
That's not good. A drill music career, that's not it.
And streaming platforms, but there was hard competition from the streets. His dad says he was no saint, but should not have died like this.
So at least his pops was honest, and he knew what it was. He knew what type of life his son was living. And you know what they say, you live by the streets, you die by the streets. Unfortunately, he did the latter.
Our hip hop is no longer hip hop anymore. And now, if you're not doing drill, you're not going to get no play.
The hard-driving beats and dark, ominous sound of drill originated in Chicago. It was also heavily gang-affiliated. It got a new life in Brooklyn and was brought into the mainstream by the late Pop Smoke. His friend and protege, 22-year-old Tajay Dobson, known as drill rapper TDott Woo, was shot and killed last Tuesday, also in a drive-by, right after signing a record deal.
That drill is the devil's music.
He said it, not me.
It's nothing but murder, death, kill, drugs, everything, the whole ingredient for us to lose.
The rapper's murders come as the NYPD is coping with a flood of illegal guns on the streets and a 32% rise in shootings last month. More than the music itself, NYPD says it's the taunting and dissing in the lyrics that are rapped and posted on social media that fuel the violence. Police are not blaming the music itself, but say it makes a combustible mix with gangs and readily available guns.
And Jay-Z and Meek Mills and Fat Joe and a host of your other favorite rappers want to make it so these people who kill or are killed by these dudes who are beefing with these drill rappers, they want to make it so they can't use the lyrics in your case. So whoever killed this guy TDott Woo and the other rapper, and if they make a song about it, Jay-Z and all his other rap buddies, they want to make it so that you can't convict that person based off of their music lyrics, giving intimate details that nobody else would know except the police about a murder that they committed.
These are geographical gang members involved in violence. We've seen it over the years. But the rap definitely inflames the situation.
Now, the reaction to these murders has been overwhelming from many sides. Drill music producer and Hot 97 DJ Drewski, who helped launch the career of the late Pop Smoke, says he's no longer playing any diss records because he's tired of seeing the loss of life. Some record labels are also taking action, refusing to sign new drill artists.
All right, guys, so you heard her. We actually have this white DJ Drewski of Hot 97, saying that he is not going to play drill music if it references dissing the dead, dissing ops, or whatnot. And I just find it so funny that we always have to follow suit of what the white guy is doing. The glider, he has to bring the morality to the culture, and he's setting the precedent. And then you got Ebro Darden from Hot 97 saying, oh, what we doing next, Funk Flex, and then another DJ or whatnot. It's like, it took all these other rappers to get killed in order for us to do this. That's the crazy part about it. So anyways, it just baffles me, man, that this guy has to be the voice to finally stand up to this. Because who else was really doing that? What other DJs was refusing that? Okay? And that it's not going to stop the drill music from being... I mean, the internet, who's listening to the radio anyway? The internet is just surpassed all of these radio tactics, right? And think about how difficult it's going to be for them to even do that, because every song, every hot song has a diss in it, whether it's NBA Youngboy, Kodak Black, Suit. That means you can't play Super Gremlin, because Kodak Black is blatantly dissing 1804 Jackboy in that song. That means you can't play the new NBA Youngboy song because he's dissing Lil Durk. And Lil Durk said he was going to stop dissing, but I don't believe it, especially when people have, target you and they're sending shots at you. He's always going to send some subliminal or slick or, straight up disses out there for people who are sending disses at him. So it's a never-ending cycle. I just say you got to keep it to music as best you can. Like, if you're one of these artists, keep it to the music. And if you saying something, you better be moving militant, because these dudes are listening to your music and finding one thing that you said that might be about them, and now they beefing with you and they coming for you. But it's crazy that we have DJ Drewski, of all people, I ain't never heard of him, coming out and saying we are losing too many young men and women to the streets. No, we need to correct this too, bruh. We're not losing. It's the super gremlins going out and doing this. The guy who, killed these rappers, who's to say that these rappers weren't on the same stuff that they were on? Not all of the rappers, obviously, but I mean, these guys are repping a certain lifestyle. Are they participating? Who knows? But it's crazy, man. Everybody's reporting on it. Wow. He says, I'm not supporting no more diss gang music. If you dissing each other in the songs, don't even send it to me. I don't care if the artist sends it, the label sends it, your big homie sends it. I will not support or play any more diss gang records on the radio. We are losing too many young men and women to the streets. He should have said young black men and women, but he didn't want to polarize it. But I think if he would have said that, they would have started, calling him racist and all that kind of stuff. He said, if you make drill music, there are a lot of drill songs without dissing your ops or smoking on your ops. Step up your pen game and creativity. No reason why every week someone is getting locked up or killed. I can't change the world, but I can stop supporting the nonsense. I admit I'm a fan of the drill records and supported from the beginning, but it's only getting worse. SMH. And, that's a good thing that he noticed within himself that, hey, I'm a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites. Okay? But I'm going to make a change now. And I think that it's a symbol, okay? It's symbolic of what is going to have to happen for the real street crime to stop. It's like we're waiting for a glider savior every time. Like, none of us are going to say it's wrong. And if we do say it's wrong, we're not going to really stop participating or pushing the music, listening to the music, giving it views, whatever. Okay? But we have this guy right here. Glider DJ Drewski. And he put his foot down. And he said that, is this cultural appropriation that he's trying to stop the gang violence? Is that cultural appropriation? Because it sounds like to me that he's culturally appropriating DJing or radioing or being a radio personality of drill music. Let that sink in. And as a community, are we really going to let DJ Drewski run stuff and just say, turn off all the gang music, turn off all the diss music? That's a question for the community. But anyways, you know, shout out to him. I'm glad he made a stand. Somebody needed to say it because it feels like there's only a couple people actually saying it and willing to back what they're saying by actions.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.